It's race day.
Welcome, race fans, to a showcase of driving perfection. My name's Webbo, and let's get down trackside. Hold on tight, we're gonna go for it. Boom, that's how it's done. Whoa, easy. Surely not all the way around the outside. Oh yeah, we're cooking now. Shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake. This is a roller coaster of emotions. The drivers are pushing their machines to the limit and beyond. Woo, it doesn't get any better than that. We wait for the lights, the revs build and so does the excitement. And it's drop the clutch and go, go, go! Okay, driver, it's hammer time. This driver is an artist and the racetrack is their canvas. Did you see that? Did you see that? Wow! Let's watch it again. Ooh, hopefully they'll get away with that one. What a great start, and it looks like we can build on this now and really make a good race of it. There's the fastest lap, folks. No mercy on the menu today. Yeah, sideways is rarely ever faster, but you do get style points. And we roll the safety car dice. Leave them alone, they know what they're doing. Oh no, someone's gone bowling into turn one. What a shocker. Moving left, jinking right, keep them guessing. Lawn mowing as a side gig. And we go down the inside, Danny Rick style. We're on the edge of our seats here, folks. The racers are pushing their limits, risking it all for that coveted first place position and the all-important win. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The two cars ahead are fighting with each other. It's slowing them down. And through we go! That driver is a complete and total. A word has not been invented to describe how complete and total they are. But they are one, and a complete and total one at that. And it all comes down to this, the final lap. If you smell what this driver is cooking. This seems like as good a time as any to ask if you've subscribed yet. There's your Grand Slam, pole, fastest lap, and the win! Welcome, race fans, back to Deviant Racing for the final time in this 2025 racing season. My name is Webbo, here to join you for today's action as always, and a big thank you for the invitation to be here with you all. Hi to Kuros Kai, who's straight in the chat immediately, which is exactly what we love to see. Yeah, we're here at Road Atlanta for the finale of our fantastic season 4.3, and of course the finale of the 2025 season 4 in total as well. Road Atlanta, looking forward to seeing how the drivers cope with the S's and all the rest of it here today. And I hope you're looking forward to this one. This is how the season has shaped up so far, not forgetting, of course, that we can only see at this stage the total overall scores, and as far as my information is concerned, we do drop a score. However, with an unassailable lead, I think it's very safe to say that Vic has been king of the season so far on his return to full-time racing with us. And Vic is back on top and is the champion of season 4.3 GTDPRO. At top left of your screen, has amassed 109 points so far. Worst score, a 13-point Alsace round right in the middle of our season. Jonkai and Zen are very much fighting over this final position. The total score doesn't tell the entire story, and Captain Eli was vying with Vic for most of the season, but has had two very poor and uncharacteristic scores. Of course, a 0 as well in the last round in Mount Panorama for a no-show for whatever reason, but unfortunately it means he is further back then on 53 total. Chaotica and Komakopa are tied over 5th and 6th provisionally. Then we've got Fascia and Preston tied on 44 points. Bongit's right there on 43. How about that? With Izzy and TX Speedstars 32 and 26 respectively. But below the potential relegation line, we have Glovas and Shell's Daddy. Now, they are both a very big surprise for me. In the team standing, Distinguished look like, I believe they are well and away the champions, but we shall see. Of course, if I get the updated scores at the end of this racing season, I will drop them in the description. In the chat of this video with a spoiler warning. But Team Distinguished are on top there, 274, 244 with the drop scores. They would have to no score all 4 cars, I think, today for CBC to be in with a shout. So it looks like CBC are going to be in a good position for P2. Team OG in 3rd. Drive-through Racing in 4th, with Michelin Speedstars in 5th. Currently, it's very close at the bottom. Team Mountain Dew and Rookie Rebels. Mountain Dew have been at the bottom of the standings nearly the entire season, and have suddenly launched into a good P6 provisionally. We're waiting to see when the drivers get themselves on track, but for now at least, let's enjoy some Brum Brum cars running past. I'd love to hear from everybody watching. It's always great to hear who is watching, why, where. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, holiday weekend for anybody out there in the United States. I hope that it was everything you would hope it to be. I did ask our league admin today whether they were okay or in a food coma, and they said both to yes. So that was that was great. So yes, I'm sure that lots of you have had enough of family and forced interaction. Being sim racers, I acknowledge that we're generally quite a reserved lot. In terms of outside and other people and scary things like that, but yeah, we shall hopefully get everybody ready, and I hope you've all had a good weekend and are firmly in the holiday mood. I don't know that I am, but we shall wait and see. We've already got a car out there. It looks like it's Junkai who's put himself out in the first position on the track. I have incorrectly arranged my keyboards for today's racing, so I've got the wrong one in front of me. So let's. We've got Junkai there in first position. We've already had a good look at his car. Unfortunately, Zen's Zen's livery persistently won't come through, and I did run the correct procedure to eliminate that problem today. I don't know if Zen has maybe run out of online memory in GT. It's not always the spectators' fault, but like I say, I've done everything I think I need to do on my end, and I've got everybody else's livery showing just okay. It looks like Komakopa is first out there in an all-new livery, and we shall talk about that, of course, in the course of today's race. This we were actually already almost finished on this Road Atlanta course, down into 10 and 10A, the chicane at the bottom of the hill, before heading under the Fox Factory Bridge. That's your pit lane entry on the right. It is actually tremendously difficult to get into the pit lane without causing a penalty. Firing through the final turn, that's turn 11, to finish up and in towards the first turn. Just a few gears down into fourth. Stay on the dark patch of asphalt if you can, and then it's just about memory and muscle memory as you go over the crest of turns 2 and 3. Then you're pitching downhill, uphill. You're never on the flat really here at Road Atlanta. This is the crucial corner because it's about slingshotting you up over the curb neatly, and then you're on throttle all the way down into the double right-hander of turn 6 and 7. Turn 6 is more open than you think it's going to be. Turn 7 always tighter than you think it's going to be when you get back to the track and out. And it looks like Komakopa has his tail up. He's definitely up for it today, and that's great to see. Hi to Jim. Final race and a lot of position change possibilities, especially in GTD. Well, more of that later, Jim. But great to have you with us, of course, as we then head downhill back into that chicane. Let's see if Koma can get his end of his lap together, looking as neat as the start of his lap did. I'm not sure he was planning to downshift into second at that point, or he maybe just delayed that run, but that looks pretty neat and tidy through there, and that is Komakopa on a 120 point something with a 119.2 immediately from John Kai. Globas goes into second position. He is well overdue a good result. TX goes into second now as we join Zen, who has registered only a 5th fastest time. Chaotica's up in 4th place. Where is Izzy? Well, he is just coming through the first turn. It looks like he's had a slower lap. This is Fascia on board with him. It's just an out lap at the moment. He obviously delayed significantly coming through as we've got Preston here about to cross the line. Preston goes P6. And a good line through there from him. This is Bongit on a hot lap. Bongit's usually pretty quick, so let's stay with him to see these alternate configurations. That was turn 12 on your left that we don't use, of course, the GT7. There goes Bongit into 7th place, 1.2 seconds away from the outright fastest, which is John Kai. Here he is on board in the Renault RS04, and on another hot lap, I do believe. He's got a good button box on his right-hand side there in the cockpit, and plenty of ventilation coming on in as well. Looks like we're sticking with the lap, not coming in for a change of tyres. Soft tyres, the order of the day, of course. In qualifying, a 119.6 is 3/10, nearly 4/10 of a second slower than he's been before. But TX is 36 thousandths of a second only away from first. Globas just 12 thousandths away from second position, and here he is, having improved that time, I do believe. John Kai, Speedstars and Globas within a very, very tight margin of one another. Alexandra says, happy last race of the season, everyone. Gus says, let's go. Absolutely, Gus, great to have you. We will talk about you a little bit later on, of course, as usual, in the livery review, and we'll get your ratings of your favourite liveries. I imagine this one might feature. This is Komakopa. He's only 1.5 tenths of a second away from the outright pole position currently. Let's catch up with his lap time. How's this one looking? I think the tyre wear is done, but if he can maximise this run through the final chicane, he might be in a good position, because he definitely didn't maximise that on his first hot lap. No, he's bailed. And then you can see he does plan to take third gear coming out of there.
perhaps for a little bit of safety, as it's looking a little bit dark on track right now. That's going to affect track temperatures. We won't get any rain. There's absolutely no rain in the entirety of the Americas here in GT7. I'm sorry to say. Hopefully that will change when we get Circuit Gilles Villeneuve this week, I believe that's coming out. So we're looking forward to that one, of course. This is Zen in P6. And he's heading through those famous S's. It's all very straightforward until you get to this one. This is turn 5 officially, because turn 4 is made up of 4 parts, 4, 4A, 4B and 4C. That was turn 5, heading now down into turn 6, the right-hander here. Yeah, somewhat confusing numbering system here at Road Atlanta, but Zen all the same comes on out. Kuroskai saying no rain in Americas, love the accuracy. Okay, I think you get a little bit of rain, especially in places like Interlagos. That would be fantastic in with some rain. Vic has taken provisional pole with 6 minutes 30 elapsed of the 10-minute session. Vic has got himself up into pole position. Here is Zen heading into the pit lane. We're on board now with Vic. He is 1.5 tenths of a second away from Junkai, who's gone into the pits. That's going to be a tight turnaround for Junkai coming out, and Vic's going even faster on this lap. He's got a car in front of him. It looks like Comacopa's Ferrari here. So let's see as we come through. It's Vic trying to maximize this run out. He might get a bit of dirty air. He might also get a little bit of a tow coming through the final corner. Vic does get a faster time up. He extends his lead by a further 4/400ths of a second, I should say. TX Speedstars, where is he? Oh, he is dealing with a lot of opposite lock coming over the crest on the approach into turn 11. Junkai's gone quicker. Faciar's gone fastest, and he goes straight up into pole position. No improvement from TX that time. We ride with Glovas. Faciar's gone into the pits now for one more turnaround of his soft tyres. So Jim says, be interested to see how our real Lemons drivers do today on the track. They will drive in a couple of weeks. Oh, that sounds absolutely awesome to do that at this circuit. I would be petrified running a Junker car or a Lemon around a track as fearsome as Road Atlanta, especially through the S's with blind curves and crests, dealing with amateur drivers around me as well. So I take my hat off, if I was wearing one, to the Lemons drivers. I'm sure the channel, the Deviant Racing League channel, will be kept up to date with what is happening. I'm sure you can follow the guys on socials as well. Down we go. Glovas, this is looking like a good lap, but not the best lap so far. We'll see if Vic can capitalise here. That's an interesting line from Glovas. It was neither in or out of the pit lane fully as he comes through. That was nicely done. That might just be the way that the Merc likes to go. Glovas into 3rd place. Very, very good lap from Glovas then. But TXP Stars claims pole. Now I think that's pole sitter number 4 in the session. TX has got up there. Vic is on the hunt for another one. There's 1 minute left to go in qualifying, plus the usual overage, as Vic screaming up into turn 5, the rear of the car, complaining, and crash into the barrier we go. Vic will go no faster on this session, and he'll hope not to get in anybody else's way. TX has been mighty. Faciar, I think, has thrown in the towel for this point in the session. Back with Glovas. I'm wondering what Comacopa is up to. Let's have a look at this lap. As we get through to the second sector, it's a personal best, but he's some distance away in time from the top 5 positions on the grid as we come through here. Kuros saying the car can only blow up the one time. Absolutely, it can, yes, but you can be crashed into by idiots far more times than that. There it is, a personal best then for Comacopa, but he stays in P6. TX has the provisional pole by 1/10 of a second clear from Faciar. Vic will not feature up there, as it looks like Glovas is cooling the car down. We'll see if we can find a driver working the wheel hard. I think that's not happening from Chaotica. What is Zen doing down there in P9? I don't know that Zen's got enough time to finish the lap he's on right now. I think we may time out, but he's on the bubble of his best time, but I don't think he's anywhere near where he wants to be in terms of outright pace. Bongit's the surprise of the session for me, the unpleasant surprise of the session for me so far. That's down in P11 for Bongit. Can he do any better? Will the clock give him that overage to get across the line? Bongit goes 8th. That's a lot better for him, up from 11th. So that's a much neater and tidier lap from him. But GG to TX Speedstars in the Ford GT. What a fantastic performance. He's crunched it into the barriers or one of his rivals there already, but no matter, because he managed to extract the speed out of this Road Atlanta Raceway. A big surprise for me on this tight and twisty circuit. Komakopa set a personal best, went to P6. Zen likewise, but didn't improve. Safety car will be on lap 19. So quite a long way into the race. Fantastic from TX there. Absolutely brilliant. Congratulations to him for the pole position. We'll take a look at those qualifying results right about now. There is TX on top, 118.791. Just over 1/10 of a second away from Faciar and Vic, the distinguished Lamborghinis, in second and third position. That's a bit of a ferocious P2 and P3 for the team who are very likely to take the team championship here. We've got Glovas in P4 ahead of John Kai and Komakopa, with Chaotica and Bongit filling out the top 8. Behind them in our 11-car competitive field, interestingly, 12-car competitive field, of course, we've got Izzy, Zen, Preston and Saito. So that's fantastic to see. Congratulations to them. Hi to Kirk Morris, who gets into the chat there late on. So it's safety car lap 19. We will have a short hiatus for a break for the drivers, just to get a comfort positioning. Chaotic says start at 3 minutes past the hour. So Jim says 41 to 42 laps, maybe. Okay. Any advance on 41 to 42? Who's going to get that one? Let me know, of course, whether you have a prediction for the podium and whether it's based on hope or you know, actual information that you might have. We'd love to see that. 1.7 meters per second northeasterly right now. The hard and medium tires, as usual, are expected. We have been two-stopping the vast majority of the GTDPRO races this season in the GT3 cars. I'd really love to take my 911 Turbo Widowmaker from 1981 around Road Atlanta right now. Actually, I really fancy that. We have 8 times speed rate, so we will elapse 8 hours from late morning. I don't think that means we will get into any kind of sunset situation, but you should see the track temperature and the weather therefore change, and maybe even the light conditions a little bit. But I don't think Atlanta is going to be in danger of heading into sunset quite that early. So we shall see. And then the rest of the session settings, as you can see, as usual here for everybody. Weak shortcut might be an interesting situation, and the wall collision penalties. There are walls here, and there are definitely opportunities to grab a minor shortcut through some of these corners. So bear in mind, we've also got pit lane entry limit penalties pending. We have got a safety car coming, and well, it looks like Saito is driving the Mustang GT15 here. So I think he's going to be our safety car driver, but in a Mustang without lights on. So I'm guessing he's going to do the light sequence by way of hazard lights or blinkers. I think that might be his approach here, but an interesting choice for the cars. We're ready to get underway for racing here at Road Atlanta for the final time this 2025, and of course this season 4.3. Vic is almost certainly our champion, but he won't want to give any quarter whatsoever as we get ready to go racing here. The Lamborghini second and third, fantastic qualifying from TX Speedstars, 5 lights on, and it's dropped the clutch, and it's go, go, go. It looks like the GT getting a little bit slow away here with the Mercedes AMGs trying to sneak one up the middle of the two of the Lamborghinis. A good start, though, from the second of the Lambos, and it's Vassiar screaming up into the start, into the pole position straight away. That gets the whole shot, but TX right round the outside on the way into turns 2 and 3. Great sequence from both of them as the Team AO Racing USA liveries of the AMGs here looking, of the Porsches looking beautiful, and TX Speedstars screams up into the lead, manages to go side by side with Vassiar. Veni Vidi Vici, I came, I saw, I conquered, it says on the side of the car, and across the sun strip as well for Vassiar. For the team distinguished as well, but there is Comacopa in P4. Great start from him in his racing red Ferrari, with Junkai in the French liveried Renault RS01 out in P5. We've got Chaotica, Izzy, and Zen further back, with Bonget in 9th, Glovas, Preston, and there is Saito in our not so safe safety car. As Vic is chasing down Vassiar into the final chicane. Comacopa running a little bit long on the brake pedal there on the hard tyres. Comacopa often taking the hard tyres at the start of our races here. It looks like that is the choice from most drivers as we finish out lap 1. It is TX, Vassiar, Vic, Comacopa, and following very closely behind is Junkai in 5th place. Let's have a quick replay then of the start as the drivers get underway. Looks like Chaotica slow away in the Porsche, and then you can see from Comacopa's positioning, he's put himself on the outside there. You can see Vassiar into the lead. Glovas drives clean off the circuit, pretty much all by himself, unfortunately. Zen follows suit, and it looks like Glovas actually ended up in the tyre barrier. One of those situations where there's actually very small amount of room on the racetrack, on the infield with tyre barriers, and he managed to hit them. Izzy overtaken by Chaotica going down into turn 6. The rear of that Porsche looking a little bit menacing, not quite as menacing as the front with all those teeth, but he can't quite wrestle control of Roxy there as he comes on out of the corner. Izzy gets the place back, and Zen is right there, hot on his heels again. Bonget in 9th position, and then an absolute gulf back to the final 2 positions. Chaotica has Zen side by side. Zen will go for absolutely no quarter here for the driver with him, but he was slightly boxed in the 83, unfortunately for him, because he couldn't take advantage of his superior braking ability into there, because he had a car directly in front. That was Izzy. So Chaotica smartly defending, I think, that one. Bonget chasing it up hard. Glovas and Junkai in the Mountain Dew and OG cars respectively. Junkai looking a little bit worse for wear here. He has damaged the car in a big way. He's been off. Let's see if we can't find out exactly what happened to Junkai. No, we are too late, unfortunately. Junkai down from near the front of the field as Saito is waiting in the pit lane. Here are our distinguished gents behind TX. By 3 seconds, TX has started on the soft tyres in the Ford GT, so that will have helped no end, and he's got to extend a really large gap here to go through. Kuroskai saying another race, another Glovas punt. It looked like he drove off the circuit by himself. Do you mean he was punted by someone else, perhaps, that we didn't catch on the start replay, or I didn't notice, maybe, more to the point, but maybe you can further elucidate on that one. But Vic trying to get the inside line into the chicane. Unfortunately, there was no grip on that inside line at all, and he runs long, and now he's got Comacopa for company here. This is with Vic. It looks straightforward, but he was just way too late on the brakes and heads into the gravel. Comacopa did get the position back going through the final corner there. Here is Coma. But going around and down the inside line, it's so much shorter. It's a long corner, so that inside line working really well for him. and going through into P3 in the Ferrari ahead of the new champion, Vic, who's got pace to spare heading downhill through the S's. This is fascinating to see what Vic can do here as he continues his run tucked up behind Comacopa, and this is now going to cost him dearly. You've got to imagine the two Italian marks, I'd have to say. The Lamborghini, the more favoured car overall. The Ferrari is a beautifully handling car, but it's lacking in outright top speed. But it does look after its tyres very nicely indeed. Vic is waiting for the last possible moment here. Will Comacopa find any more brakes on this inside line than Vic did? It doesn't matter because Vic's already through with a very well-timed brake out of the slipstream, and heading on through that final chicane goes Comacopa's livery, specially made in honour of Comacopa, I believe, and the Larry, Alexandra, Gus, Charlie family trip to Comacopa's place of work out there in Florida. I think it's a Sea Life Centre. Bongit side by side with Izzy. That looks muscular, and it's not just because it's Rexy as the livery. Great racing from both of them. It's almost like a slightly more cartoon version of Rexy as well here for Bongit. I'm not quite sure. It's Team CBC. Usually they're celebrating things that Canadians and Americans have in common, but they've just gone for dinosaurs from the Team AO Racing, which is a USA team in those liveries. The Mountain Dew cars are not looking particularly happy, down in 9th and 10th positions at the moment, but Junkai is probably going to be the least happy driver so far, down in 11th place. But that safety car, of course, on lap 19 will bring everybody back together again if they can stay on that lead lap, of course. Alexandra saying best trip ever thanks to Comacopa. Oh, that's great to hear. Alexandra, one of my channel members, so she gets extra status on the live chat. You can find out ways to support the channel in the channel details, of course. It should be underneath. It should be a join button somewhere around and about. If that's something that you would be interested in, it's very welcome, and I try and get some good perks together for you all. Here is Comacopa out in P4. We've got Chaotica in the Rexy pink dyno livery. Absolutely love Team AO Racing USA on a personal, and their Halloween special just looked terrific, absolutely terrific. So Zen seems to have gone deliberately full white here. I thought his livery hadn't come through, but that is a full-on Deviant Racing number sticker. So that is a clear decision by Zen to go full white on the livery. Just, I guess, sick of not being noticed on the circuit, perhaps, and trying to remove those excuses. Globas understeers after some netcode, says Cam. Okay, is that inside info, Cam? It's not his season today. Yes, it's been a long year today for Globas for sure, and I imagine he's not particularly thankful for his racing 4.3 season here in the GT World Challenge. Unfortunately, it looks like he will be demoted, but he has been taking on extra responsibilities in the league, and he's been hosting all manner of different series and doing a huge amount of work behind the scenes. So I'm sure lots of drivers are sad to see his pace drop off a little bit this season, but it's fairly inevitable when people start committing huge amounts of time. He was already the chief designer for the league, for the liveries as well. I'm not sure that he has a job, Glovas. I think he just plays GT7 full time and runs Deviant Racing League and Drink with a Driver as well. Vic is right there with his teammate and hassling and harrying him from behind. TX Speedstars has unlocked himself an 8-second lead so far, looking absolutely amazing, and it looks like he's just pulling up to one side. Now he's taken the outside line here on the way down to that all-important turn 10 chicane, and Vic, this is where Vic misread the braking situation earlier on. He's got back onto the racing line now though, Vic has. He's on the hard tyres, so is his teammate. I thought we were perhaps in for an overtake there between Chaotica and Comacopa. The double K double trouble of the two of them here. But yeah, not so far. The Porsche just lacking a little bit there, I think, in traction out of the slow turn 7. And that then hurts you all the way down the sort of non-straight kinks of turns 8 and 9, essentially, which is a full throttle multi-gradient section of the racetrack as they head northwards up towards the final sector of the racetrack. Izzy in the Michelin Speedstars car. Izzy's rear end getting a little bit loose there on the way into the S's. He recovered that expertly with those fabulous reactions that he's got, and all the extra information that the VR system gives you in terms of motion, not so much in terms of race awareness and mirror ability and on-screen display and all of those things, but you should be able to react to oversteer moments that fraction of a second quicker. Globus has picked up the pace here. Look at this beautiful purple berry plum Mountain Dew livery today. Absolutely gorgeous. Purple Thunder it is. So that looks terrific. He's also got a spare livery which he's given over to his teammate Preston. We'll as usual, we will dive deep on those during the safety car period. I'm sure that Gus, Charlie and Alexandra will stay tuned for that particular moment. I'm not quite sure what's happening with the safety car today. I think Saito just fancied driving a 5-litre Mustang, and who wouldn't, as TX Beastars leads the race at the moment. I will try and dig into exactly what's going on with the yellow and the purple today for the Michelin Speedstars liveries. I love to see changing liveries. Copa, the man on the move right now, as he has gapped Chaotica, and this is Copa bringing the tyres in gently and then getting quicker and quicker, and he'll have fuel to spare by the rest in comparison to the drivers around him, I imagine, and that car is looking glorious out there in the Road Atlanta sunshine, and he's heading to try and get that slipstream as well. Let's have a look on board with Copa, just looking behind. Good gap to the Porsche behind, and this is chasing that Lamborghini of Fascia, the distinguished Lamborghini. Fancy a good result for Copa today, I'm sure, and using every inch of the apex curbing there that he possibly can. Oh, okay, that's awesome. So the safety car today is the actual car being driven in the Lemons race in a couple of weeks. They have got... Do you mean the safety car in a couple of weeks? Or this is the actual Deviant Lemons car, is a Mustang, is a 5-litre Mustang? You've got to be kidding me. That's insane. They're going to drive a Mustang. That's not a Lemon. Copa getting a great run there through the circuit. They're actually running... actually going to run a Mustang. Wow. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like a Lemon to me, but maybe I know different. And the actual experience of driving them, or it's just one of the Duff output from Detroit, perhaps. Copa through turns 6 and 7. He's looking really planted right now as Vic heads off into the lead. We've had the pit stop, of course, from our leader. It's now Vic. It was the other TX, the other Michelin Speedstars car of TX here, who's gone onto the medium tyres. I think he fancies a run on the hards after the safety car. So he's given up that leading position, but his soft tyres will of course have been dying out there, an early death, getting them through to lap 9, I think here. So Saito's saying all credit to Merck for remaking the car inside the game. He absolutely nailed what the car is going to look like. Oh, we'll have a really good look at that later on then. I hope so. I hope you've got Deviant Racing stickers on the car as well. And I certainly wouldn't object to a Webbo.com sticker on the Lemons car. But Vic, Fascia and Copa, P1, 2, 3 at this stage, with Chaotica just munching away at the apex grass there and dirt. Coming through the S's. Next to come through will be Izzy. He's ahead of his teammate TX. Izzy on the conventional-ish strategy, starting on the medium tyres here. I'd be surprised if he can get this all the way to lap 19. but he might just do a quick turnaround on the tyres. Zen's in 7th. Preston and Globas have gone into the pits, and Globas is on his way out. He's trying to avoid another 3-second penalty, but he picked one up on the way in, did Globas. And yeah, it is just a constant irritation here for Globas, I'm afraid. Just nothing will go right, but he's definitely getting all of his bad racing luck out of the way before he starts the 2026 racing season, of course. John Kai in 10th, Bongit in 11th, and it's going to have stickers. Fantastic, that's what we want to see, definitely. Bongit in that 11th place, Saito waiting out here, and waiting for his run. I'm not sure that no problem sticker is the right way up, unless it's there for for a bit of irony, perhaps. Vic then, hard tyres, lead of 3.4 seconds over his teammate. Fassiar, though, is certainly very busy, looking in his mirrors as much, I imagine, as he is in the at the apexes in front of him. Nervously waiting for Komakopa to make his move. Komakopa will be patient at this stage of the race, I feel fairly certain. Until he feels like he's being held up to greater degree. It's only 4 seconds, his lead to the front of the field, and of course it's immaterial as long as you're planning your strategy to work perfectly. I think he'll be good on his fuel to get him through to the end of lap 17, where he will presumably pit refuel before the safety car. It's just a question of whether those medium runners can make it. The hard tyre Chaotica looking good, but he's eating away that front left, surprisingly, there in the Porsche. The Izzy 4GT comes through, and that lazy sounding exhaust belying the actual speed of the car. Great chrome effect paint though, really looking very nice out there. I love that fade of the yellow through to the purple. TX has gone for more purple and paint on the middle section of the car. Izzy's has gone for more of a chrome individual sections. Must be a difficult car to create liveries for, I imagine, with all these different panels and split sections. I've done a little bit of livery designing, but I don't fancy taking on a 4GT at this stage. I'm nowhere near advanced enough. Zen has scraped up the front right of this all-white Renault so far, but he's in P7, just going through. He's already pitted, I believe, onto the medium tyres. So he may have started on the hards or the softs and deciding to run two stints here on the mediums, I would imagine. At this stage of proceedings, we are about 17 minutes 40 into the race of the 60 minutes. Don't forget, coming up on the channel after the GTDPROs, it's the turn of their teammates in the GT4 cars in the GTD series, and they'll be online in well, just under 1 hour's time for that race. We will be entirely spoiler free for the Grand Prix, and if I see anything mentioned about Formula 1, I will be turning off my check of the live chat, because I'm an avid F1 fan, have been for a very, very long time, and it sucks that we're getting right close to the season and we're having these evening races here in the UK. It's Bongit in P11, in that Porsche with the Rexy cartoon livery. Looks really cool. I really like it. As Vic in a 4.444 second lead here. Very subtle paint job. It wouldn't look half as good in an evening light condition here, would it? But Vic's, it's the Atlanta sunshine picking up every little glisten and glow on the color shift sections of the Lamborghini. Vic's lead 4.5 seconds at lap 14. Komakopa hasn't been able to pass Fassiar at this stage. It's quite a surprise here, but he's just backed off slightly. May feel like there's no real point. He's got the track position. He's looking after the car as much as possible. It's lap 15. Safety car will be lap 19. It will be before the halfway period of the race. I think that, well, almost constantly we are looking at a two-stopper here. So it'd be a surprise if Komakopa can do anything other than a two-stop at this stage. But getting through to the safety car period on one set of tyres and one tank of fuel, I think it's probably a reasonable achievement as things go. So Jim, as Jim points out, 9 points separates third overall through sixth. A lot of potential shifts in overall finish positions today. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, we did look at the standings overall, but it's a great summary of what people are fighting over. Of course, everyone wants to stay clear of the potential relegation battle in the GTDPRO. I assume we're going back to a promotion relegation race-off situation for season 5.1 in 2026, probably quite early 2026. But I haven't seen, I haven't been pinged in anything yet for next season. So you can fill in those details in the chat if you have that info, or if it has been decided yet. As we're on the final day of November 2025, we will have a month off, hopefully at least. Only 4 points separating them in GTD, says Jim. That mid-pack of positions. So it's absolutely crucial. Every position after the safety car that is picked up, every little moment on the racetrack, every unnecessary G-force put through your tyres counts in the midfield for everything. As Izzy's in P7 has gone in the pit, so has Chaotica. So Izzy's come in off the medium tyres. Yes, I think that's true. As Chaotica's come in and going back out again. So the medium tyres lasted some 21.5 minutes, maybe 21 minutes total with full tanks of fuel at the start of the race here. So that's interesting information for later on. So I'll try and bear that in mind. Whether I actually remember that or not will remain to be seen. But Glovas has got his medium tyres up to temperature. He's already pitted once off whatever he started on, which I'm assuming were hard tyres like the rest of them. But I don't think he will get 2 sets of tyres home. I think he will run this and just grab that track position earlier on. Gus says go Komakopa. Komakopa, Gus, still in third place, still just behind Facia, but hasn't looked threatening just yet. Hasn't really been going for any manoeuvres as I would expect him to have done. I think he's just playing it pretty calm here. Chaotica defends. Glovas trying to go a long way around the outside into the chicane, and it doesn't work, and I'm not quite sure why that didn't work for Glovas, unless he was just a little bit too late on the brakes. Here we go. Chaotica stays in the middle. Glovas says, okay, we'll go right around the outside, but perhaps a little bit too late. Yeah, very late on the brakes, and just couldn't get the car to turn in until he got the speed off. So that's why that one didn't work, as we've got John Kai there in P7. He's picking up the places now with a few pit stops from other people. Preston in 6th place. He's on his second set of tyres as well, as I believe is Zen. We know TX started on the softs, and his gap to the leader is 22 seconds. This is the crucial point now for drivers to pit. It's the end of lap 17. The pit lane will close on the racing lap 18 for the drivers. So yeah, this is what everyone's doing. Hard tyres for the first stint. Hard tyres possibly for the second. We shall see what the decision is like as Vic refuels to brim the tank full of fuel. Vic, we will just get an update on those tyres. It is not necessarily still hard tyres. I would expect they will try and take this home with 2 sets of medium tyres to the end here. And thanks, Jim. There will be a promotion relegation race-off after today. Thank you. Because the gap between season 4.2 and season 4.3 that we're in right now, it was re-qualified. There we are. Medium tyres for Vic as he refueled. Facia has the same situation, so does Komakopa, so all on the same strat here. They're waiting now for the safety car to make his appearance. Preston, having already made 1 pit stop, comes through and has gained some track position. I imagine most cars at this stage will have 1 more pit stop to make, and it's a question of whether they take those hard tyres later on when the car is a little bit lighter, or they can squeeze out the current set of tyres to a point where you can use the softs right at the end of the race. Let's see, where is Saito here in the safety car. He's getting ready. There is in fact a lemon on the car, so that if we didn't know anything, we do now that there is in fact a lemon sticker on the car, which I love to see. User MG cheering on Copa as well. So Copa out in 3rd place right now. A lot of people here to support Copa, which is good to see. I notice, haven't heard from Larry yet. I imagine he is deep in practice for his race for the team. He's in Michelin Speed Stars for the next round. Let's wait and see. Has the safety car managed to time his run properly? Not exactly. Saito a little bit asleep at the wheel there. We'll have to take the positions back. I still can't get over the idea of using a Mustang GT as a lemon. But this is what the lemon will look like. So we've got lots of cool details on the car here. Extra 5 horsepower sticker. You put a stripe on, you'll get an extra 10 if you put a racing stripe on there. What's on the back wing? PCF and a lot of smudges. So not 100% sure what that's about, but and there's a faded panel on the car as well, indicating presumably that it was pulled out of a scrapyard after an accident. Good stuff. Excellent. So Vic in his colour shift sparkly celebration livery. What does that say? The gentleman drivers. It's the distinguished multinational team there. You've got the flags on the back wing. Thank you for the Webbo.com stickers on the rear wing there as well. And a selection of luxury brands on the roof strip as well. 2025 Championes. Although strictly 2025 Season 4.3 champions. Same livery. I don't see any difference here between Fascia and Vic's car. And then let's have a look at this one. Hand designed by our chief livery judge himself, Gus, in celebration of Copa's day out that he gave them all. Lots of sea creatures. I can see a walrus, a big Webbo sticker on the hood as well. Thank you, Gus, for all of those the cool details. There's a penguin, an orca, a mad otter, and his own signatures there on the back of the car as well. Beautiful, beautiful design. Love to see it. And definitely raided the Sea Life sticker collection preloaded into GT7. So love to see it. Well done. Fantastic job. We've got what's this? Thrashed apple. Kind of an I Am Groot wooden style back. I thought it was camouflage when I first saw this one. The Team Mountain Dew. This was the spare one that Glovas didn't want to run, so he made another one for his teammate. Love to see it. Team Mountain Dew, now an iconic racing team here at Deviant Racing League. The Rexy pink dyno livery here. So Gus, you're going to have to pick for me an alternate livery that you like best, apart from your own, which I'm sure is the one that you love best, and rightly so. Glovas has got the Purple Thunder Mountain Dew livery. Don't drink Mountain Dew, Gus or Charlie, please. It's for irresponsible adults only, I'm sure. Lots of cool details. Very, as usual with Glovas, great sympathetic shut lines across the car as well. Always looking good. Rexy, Team AO USA driving. Then the theme for this week, says Danny from Mountain Dew, was multi-pack. I love that. Great. So then we've got the yellow, orange, purple fade here. Car of something aggression. Yeah, not quite sure what we're referencing here. I can't quite make up all the stickers, unfortunately. General Sherman, it says, on the roof as well. And this is Izzy's version of the same livery. Still going with the yellow nose and sort of bluish gunmetal rear. General Grant on the back as well. All white for Vic. OG livery as before for the rest. Here comes the lemon coming into the pit lane. We only just... The track is so short, we only just got the got everything organised in time for the start of the second half of our race as we go racing, and green flag for Vic, Vassia, Comacopa and Preston, who will take us at the head of this field for the second half as we run through. Then medium tyres for most drivers, who will be running one more compound of tyre at the end of this race. Will it be a second set of mediums, or will it be a set of soft tyres potentially? Actually, it's nice to see a thank you on the back of the car there for Vassia and the distinguished gentleman. Didn't catch that detail earlier on. Comacopa is going to need to get racy now because, of course, there's no more stoppages and caution periods. And you can't afford to be too patient. You've got to unlock the animal within here, Comacopa, and try and get hold of the win for this awesome Gus special livery. So stay tuned to see if they can bring it home. So Gus likes the Mountain Dew team, Bongit, and his own, of course, absolutely. So the Mountain Dew team do look fantastic. I don't know how Grovas does it all, does these designs. He must be hand uploading these special liveries. I can't imagine there are lots of pre-made Mountain Dew stickers for every conceivable flavour already in the sticker box. Comacopa needing to defend slightly here, just getting those brand new medium tyres up to the same sort of temperature and operating range as Preston's used medium tyres. Preston needs to take it a little bit more cautiously perhaps, because he's got to look after his tyres for a few more laps, another 9 minutes at least, before the final sector of the racetrack will be eligible for a set of mediums. He may be running hard shortly, but that gives him a lot to do in a very short amount of time to avoid being dead last when he goes into the pit lane for his final pit stop. Looking great out there with the pink, the purple and the green of Rexy, Purple Burst and Roxy. Sorry, Purple Thunder. Got it wrong. I was trying to remember what it was, but there you have it. Of Chaotica, Glovas, Bongit. Behind them, the yellow nose of TX Speedstars, who was the first leader and pole position driver of today's race. Bongit looking very good on the way into corners, less so on the way out relative to the Mercedes AMG in front of him. But he has got a good slipstream as the cars come down here. Vic is leading Facial, leading Comacopa, before we have a good run of German-made GT3 cars. Mercedes, Porsche, Mercedes, Porsche, and then the good old Ford GT as well, just behind them. But it is Italian top three for the manufacturers here at this short, twisty circuit. Obviously, some good, nimble GT3 cars out there in front. Comacopa has been able to put a little bit of gap here on Preston, and I think pretty soon we'll be thinking about making a move on Facial, although Facial's done enough so far to prevent Comacopa from going for the move. It's TX in 8th. He's had a slow run through the chicane, and Zen sends him packing off onto the grass. TX Speedstars ends up offline and caught out of momentum as Zen cruises on by through the S. Is an unusual place to pass, but that's partly because of just making a slight error on the way through. Izzy and Junkai now just about 11 seconds away from the outright lead of the race, which is Vic out here as they come down the back stretch. Comacopa in the Ferrari, needing that slipstream tremendously so, and he'll need to put the pressure on Facial and hope for a mistake from Facial, because the Ferrari doesn't have the top speed of most of its rivals. Preston has Chaotica and a threatening toothy more of the front of the Porsche here. That huge black open grille at the front of the Porsche does invite livery designers to really have a bit of fun. We've had in a separate league that I run, we've had a huge moustache painted on the front of the car there with a white and red livery. Looked really, really cool, as well as these mouths of Rexy and Roxy. Two Porsches chasing two Mercedes, and that is a strange place to go for it from Chaotica. It's good that they aren't just using the set liveries. They've even added a few little sticker details onto the cars here as well. Chaotica picks himself up a half-second penalty, and that was pure impatience heading into the apex too tightly. And he's picked up that half-second penalty, and that's going to hurt him and ease the pressure that Preston will be experiencing. There you have it, and the gap will open now, and then in fact Glovas will get the great slipstream, but here comes Bongit. Now, are they able, the AO Racing dinosaurs, to coordinate this one? Bongit, great attack, while it looked like Chaotica was positioning the car nicely to dissuade an attack as well. Actually ended up giving his teammate a little bit of help into the corner, I think, and that's very well done then from the two Porsches. Bongit in 6th now, ahead of Glovas, currently in 7th. Glovas tyres definitely second best right now, and same will be said for Preston, as Glovas has plenty of work to do to try and get a good result out of today's race. It's Vic, Fassia, Copa, as it has been for much of the race at the front, but is always drama in the mid-pack here. Just looking behind Glovas, and Zen is not too far away, neither is TX on the way through these S section corners and in towards turn 6 and 7 at the south edge of the Road Atlanta Raceway. Fantastic scenery, lots and lots of very keen motorsport fans out there in Atlanta. It is a bit of a mecca for circuit racing. Izzy in P11, of course the site of the Petit Le Mans. I'm surprised we haven't gone for a full daytime transition effect here. The Petit Le Mans racing for long endurance races, of course. This is Copa continuing to fight with Fassia. Not only the Petit Le Mans, but the 24 Hours of Lemons going as well. Copa working the wheel hard. Let's join him on board. Maybe, I tell you what, let's join him on board on the passenger seat here and get that sense of motion that he will be experiencing. He's even put Webbo stickers on his sleeves, has Copa. So with Deviant down the leg, great details there from Copa in his Scuderia Ferrari race suit. As we can also see the rear view camera display, center console, and he'll be keeping one eye on Preston behind, but it's 2.5 seconds away. Copa looked like he was starting to really wind up into a good bid here for potentially second place, but seemed to be sucked a little bit into the pace of Fassia, as is often the way when drivers are following a rival for a great deal of time. You start to forget your own racing lines because you're kind of hypnotized slightly by the cars in front, and sometimes you also forget to turn off your blinker lights. Further back, we've got Preston in 4th, Chaotica out in 5th place, also looking really good up there for a good haul of points for Team CBC. I guess that Canadians and Americans share a love of dinosaurs. I think Team AO Racing USA are an American partnership, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe Jim can fill me in what the plan is here for the liveries today. Bongit a little bit slow out of the S's, as Glovas will try to pounce, but Bongit finds himself in a bad position and then decides to hold the inside line. Zen looks like the man most likely at this stage to make an overtake. Glovas a little bit caught out in between attack and defense, so we'll see if he can make his defense stick here against the formidable Zen. As we head on into the chicane, things have just equaled out ever so slightly and improved then for our racers. Behind Zen is our former leader and pole position driver TX Beastars. Into the pits comes that will be Glovas in, one of the first of the pit stops, so he'll be looking for a really good undercut, and that is right on the bubble for a 20-minute run here to the flag for the medium tyres on slightly less than a full tank of fuel, I would imagine. So I don't think we use quite as much fuel at Road Atlanta as we would do at other racetracks per lap. It is a shorter track, and there's a lot of sideways movement rather than just pure full throttle sections. This is TX Speedstars in that P6. Jim's saying, what's Team Cross Border Competition have got in common today between the Yanks and the Canucks is that they're lazy with liveries. Nice. Okay. So it's a shared laziness this time out. We've had all sorts of great American and Canadian brand celebrations, and we've just run out of them. Good to see. I love it. Izzy in P8, Preston in 9th, Glovas in 10th. Obviously, the Mercedes team, Mountain Dew team, have stuck with the same strategy today. It is going to take a full tank of fuel to get to the end of the race, so they think. Bongit thinks so too out there. But like I say, we're watching their lap times now and seeing how much quicker they can go than the cars in front. The pit window is very much open for a set of medium tyres to the end of the race. Many drivers will be hoping to try and use a set of softs right to the end of the race as well, get in some really hot laps and go aggressive, as Vic has a 5 clear second lead ahead of his teammate Fassiar, his rear gunner, his his goose, if you will, to Vic's Maverick. I don't know why I said it that way, but Vic's Maverick has Fassiar in P2, trying to defend from Karmakopa, who has looked very strong. I think Karmakopa would be super pleased with a 3rd place overall if he can bring that home, but he'll be even more pleased if he can make it a 2nd place, absolutely. So that is a 4.6 second gap now between Karmakopa and the next car in the midfield. That is Chaotica, best of the rest at this stage, running through his medium tyres. I'll be surprised if he can get to the point where he can use a set of softs, but never quite know. The Porsche wearing his front left tyre significantly, but doesn't need the grip in his front leg quite as much because the weight of the car is coming off the front, given that the fuel tank is in the frunk, the front-mounted trunk there. So with every lap that goes by, with every litre or gallon of fuel used by the Porsche, the front of the car has less weight going onto it and less degradation and less G-force going through the tyres. So it's a fascinating shift there from everybody else. Good luck, Chaotica, from Team Black Swan, says Awesome Gumball. That's great to see. From a rival, not a rival league, a complementary league of Black Flag. So a nice one, nice to have you here, Awesome Gumball. Stay tuned later on. You have some more Black Flag races to cheer on in the next race coming up on the channel. In just under half an hour's time, the GTD race of the GT4 runners. Larry and I believe Cam, at very least, are in that one. Here is John Kai chasing down TX Speedstars for a potential overtake, heading on into the chicane. Quite used medium tyres against about half used hard tyres for TX. He's had a whole load of pain to pay on his middle section of his race on the strategy. I'm sure he'll be hoping for a set of softs at the end of this race if he can't go all the way to the end on this set of hard tyres. That front left does look a little bit dodgy. He'll be winding the brake balance to the rear, try and take the load off the front of the tyre, but there's just no escaping that front left tyre wear during the course of this Road Atlanta race track through the 1 hour race. Izzy in a similar situation, perhaps slightly gentler on that front left, but it has used a lot more fuel to this point. So I think he's within the last 3 laps of his fuel allocation by the look of his fuel gauge. It's Preston in 9th, it's Glovas in 10th place. They are, 52.5 and 55 seconds away from the leaders respectively. They'll be trying to pump in these laps. Glovas, though, will be slightly distracted by Bongit behind. Now, if they're smart, they will work together. Bongit will not pressurise Glovas too much because they both gain from getting the fastest possible laps at this stage of the race, and not interfering with one another until later on in the race, but it's very difficult to turn that that switch in your brain that said don't go for the gap, don't pressurize, don't try and force an error, and all the rest of it. So very big challenge. Vic has a very small challenge, and that is holding on to this lead to the end of the race, at the end of the season. He has been almighty, and he took a huge amount of time off racing through 2025 with other life adventures, preventing racing quite so much, but he hasn't lost a step. Vic right back up there, leading the top tier of GT racing here at Deviant Racing League, and very much in the market for some more competition. If you fancy your chances, I'm sure that sign-ups are already available in Deviant Racing. There should be a link in the description of this video, or at least in the tagged account YouTube channel that's tagged in the title of this video, to join the party here at Deviant Racing League and sign up for next season's huge calendar of weekend racing that we have. Copa comes into the pits. He is boxing opposite, as we say. He's decided to pit or stay out in an opposite position to the car in front of him, in a hope that he will get a strategic advantage. Are we going to see some soft tyres with 14 minutes left on the clock, or will he have to go a little bit conservative here? Fassiar could afford a couple more laps out there on the mediums if it is dodgy, but it's all going to depend on his current pace and how that compares to Copa, which he can't see unless he's got an engineer watching the stream carefully and talking him through. It could be the case. Jim just say, yes, sign up is open for next season. Thanks, Jim. But great crowd, Deviant Racing League, and there's even beer carts, a drink with a driver, lots of extra stuff going on apart from purely competitive racing. But they literally drink and drive on a Friday night in sim racing, at least, which is always fun, I'm sure. Zen is in third place. We've got TX, who was leading this race, and is trying to get himself back in the hunt for the podium here. He's got pace to spare in that Ford GT, but Junkai's out-dragged him in the Renault. In what universe do we see a Renault out-dragging a Ford GT? It's what I want to know. I don't think well, anyway, I will stop with my French car hatred. It's Junkai in fourth, bringing that completely unaerodynamic Renault RS up into P4 at this stage. Vic and Fassiar stay out. They stay out at this stage. Copa has gone onto the medium tyres. Unfortunately, isn't on the softest compound of available tyre, but he's on the mediums. He's got just about 2/3 of a tank of fuel on the car. He'll be slightly better car performance at this stage than Fassiar, but we'll be looking at that in-lap out-lap times. His out-lap looking at a 1:51. This is his first flying lap, and this is when it matters for the likes of Fassiar, particularly Fassiar. I think that's his main rival here, as Vic's lead is now 9.2 seconds. That's insane from Vic, given that we stopped on lap 19 for a safety car period. Absolutely insane. Amazing performance. He comes into the pit lane now. The mechanics have plenty of time to turn the car around before his teammate comes in, if they shared a pit box, which they do not. That's a 1:21.3 on his way in now. Zen is going to take, well, he would take the lead of the race, but he, Junkai, and TX are all coming in together. That means Copa has an opportunity here to pick up the places. Zen was down to 1 litre or 1% of fuel left in the tank before going in for refueling. So he calculated that one very, very closely and carefully. Here is Copa. What's important is, can he gain any time on Fassiar as he crosses the line? That's a 1:20.3 from him, although his lap 32, the lap before his in-lap, was slower. As he comes through, he has cleared Fassiar, who will be on soft tyres now. So that's huge. Copa with the undercut, 2-lap undercut on Fassiar, extending what was, I think, about 2-second deficit into a 4-second lead, and he's going to need every bit of that 4 seconds to hold on here, because he's on the mediums and Fassia is on the softs with 10.5 minutes to go here at Road Atlanta. It is really heating up. Komakopa also eating into Vic's lead, but Vic stopping as late as his teammate and can get those soft tyres on as well. So Komakopa, his main focus here will be on securing that second place, and he has had to be tremendously patient throughout the course of the race, trying to honour Gus and his car design skills to try and bring that car up into a fantastic P2. But Fassiar's target, he can see Komakopa in front, and that will be his focus for the end of the race. Can he catch Komakopa quick enough while his soft tyres are better than Komakopa's mediums? There's a bit of argy-bargy going on between Preston and TX there on the way in. TX not enjoying that at all, and saying a little bit of a driver message there between the two of them. Not quite sure what is going on here, but let's see, where are they? They're rubbing paint, and those are not complementary colour schemes at all. As they go into the corner, TX just kept it in there into the apex, and Preston had to make his own arrangements on the outside. So no quarter given between the two of them. I'm not sure I can assign any particular blame to either driver, but ultimately Preston coming off the worst with that contact. Rubbin's racing, so they say, especially in GT Enduro, and perhaps there's a great example of it there. Maybe you think differently though in the chat. Let me know if you didn't like that one. Kuros Kai saying Comma's main focus should be turning off his blinkers. Well, yes, we have mentioned it already, but he can't hear or see that in his VR. There's no annoying clicks like there is in a road car, certainly that can't compete with the engine note and the tyres. But in VR, you've got no idea, unless your dash happens to say that you've got your blinkers on. You can't see that anywhere on your race display. If you look at the screen here at the bottom in the middle, if you're racing with this head-up display, which most drivers will be, you can see the blinkers are on, but you'd still have to look for it. You can't hear it. I don't blame Komakopa at all, but it's annoying for drivers around him, and we don't give out racing penalties for forgetting that. It's good that drivers remember to turn them on at the start of the safety car, but after that point, yeah, it really is time to turn it off. Is then coming down the S's. He's got a gap of 5.7 seconds in front of Fassiar, but just 0.5 of a second back to John Kai in the Renault RS 01. Can John Kai on the soft tyres manage to get himself into P4 today? That would represent a really big turnaround from the early race shenanigans. Fassiar's gap is 2.4 seconds with 7 minutes of racing left to go here in the race. Fassiar with pretty tall order, I have to say. 1:19.6 was his last lap, and a 19.9 for Komakopa. Komakopa driving the wheels off this medium tyre shod Ferrari, don't forget. Medium tyres versus soft tyres, and he's only 0.3 of a second slower. Another personal best though from Fassiar's of 19.5, 20.8. Komakopa a much slower lap that time, and if he keeps doing that, of course, Fassiar would be right on his gearbox. Vic is racing hard. Let's have a look at those comparative in and out laps. We've got a 23.3 and a 53.5 for Fassiar, and we've got a 22.8 and a 51.1 for Komakopa. That's where the difference was made, the pit stop and the pit out. Now that part of that will be the fuel economy of the Ferrari relative to the fuel economy of the Lamborghini. Why is that important? Because the less fuel you use, the less time you spend in the pit lane stationary refueling for the end of the race. So Komakopa has managed to preserve the extra fuel. He takes a little bit of pain in the Ferrari with the top speed, but he gets great standing starts and he gets great fuel econ as well. But the gap now down to 1.4 seconds as Fassiar has really got the bit between his teeth, and now that is so close that I think it is absolutely advantage Fassiar here. at this stage. He has a big task in front of him. Nothing doing behind. 6 seconds is the gap out to Zen, and it's all about applying and absorbing pressure now at this stage, as heading flying over the crest of one of many hills here at Road Atlanta goes Fassia, and with every turn of the wheel, every turn of the track, he is going to be gaining confidence against Komakopa. But does he leave enough grip on the soft tyres to put in a decent enough fight? Let's look from the back of Komakopa's DTR, it says on the back wing. Drive-through racing, and we'll see the relative performance. Now you can see he has not worn his medium tyres as much as Fassia's soft tyres. That's got to be a hope for Comet, that there will be less grip available to Fassia at the end of the race. Even if he gets by, maybe Komakopa can continue to apply some pressure. Fassia is catching though, might go for a dive bomb heading into, but he doesn't. He's taking his time here. Komakopa will have just held his breath on the way in to the chicane. Fassia going 4 wheels off onto the curb. That has slowed him slightly out of the turn 10A, second part of the chicane as it's known. And we head into turn 1 again with 4 minutes on the clock. Another couple laps to go. Jim said 41 to 42 if memory serves me correctly. I think it would be 42 or 43 even, potentially. But I am famously awful at lap maths, fuel maths on the fly here. While I have to keep talking about racing cars, I cannot do calculations in my head. Fassia has a great run through the S's. Now the Ferrari needs to concentrate, of course, on his exit out of these two, particularly the second one, turn 7. But Fassia has the traction advantage. You've got to say here that it's going to be advantage Fassia. I'm sure Fassia is going to be able to take Komakopa here on the drag down this long flat out section, and on the approach into the chicane, Fassia goes on the outside. Komakopa will have to brake a little bit earlier off the racing line, but no, Fassia goes through all the way around the outside. Komakopa has his second place provisionally stolen away by Fassia on the softer tyres. 3 minutes though of tyre wear still to go, and he's into about 45% worn on that front left. Komakopa will be just desperately hoping that his tyres cope until the very end of the race better than Fassia's. The soft tyres will burn bright, but they will burn quickly, and I think we're right on the edge of their usable life here. Through to the end of this race. 2.5 minutes left to go. Can Komakopa retake this second place? He was much slower through the S's on the previous lap, but it does look like Fassia is already protecting that front left tyre, because Komakopa is able to catch him in a place where you wouldn't normally expect any kind of slipstream effect to be particularly strong. Through turn 7 once again, Komakopa now it's his turn to chase down Fassia and hold the line that Fassia is using. I think the Ferrari is going to struggle at this particular point, but he's going to get incredibly close. As Kirk says, Fassia got him easily. He absolutely did get him easily on that previous lap. But there are signs, perhaps, that Komakopa's got the ability here to take this to the flag in a battle. 1 minute 46 on the clock. The leader Vic has already crossed the start-finish line. There will be this lap and one more then for the drivers, particularly the front 3. I think Junkai will perhaps just cross the line. He will before 1 minute 20. So. We will have at least the top 6 or 7 cars will finish the next 2 laps here as Bongit crosses the line in P8. Vic leads us by 11.2 seconds because Fassia and Komakopa are so busy fighting here to the finish. And as they exit out of the S's, the gap has extended to 0.6 of a second, but that is within slipstream range for Komakopa. If he can float the car through turn 6, just get a nice pickup in the curb through turn 7 and stamp on the throttle as early as he dares without the tiniest little sideways step of the rear axle of the Ferrari 458 Italia. Here we go for Komakopa. The gap then dropping but not by much. The top speed of the Ferrari significantly hampered. They will have another lap to try and fight this one out, but it won't be this time for Copa as they approach the next few corners. Just going back through the field, TX in 5th, Heuskinveld 6th, John Kai in 7th, then Bongit, Izzy, Preston in 10th, who looked like, for all the world, he's just run out of fuel, but I think he doesn't want to finish out the race any further. What is happening with Preston? He's got fuel. He's trying to help his teammate gain some points. Answer me this one, folks. What is Preston up to as Globus finishes the race? Vic comes through. Here is Facial versus Comacopa. The sun is just about to set for us on the lap here. Globus got the consolation prize and got fastest laps as Kuroskai. Well, that will help him. Bongit's crossed the line in 8th place and taken the checkered flag. And the gap here is 0.4 of a second. It's closer than it has been the last couple laps now for Comacopa. And it's all about the way through turn 7. Facial's car understeering through 7. This could be it for Comacopa. We will stay with this one. Don't worry, I'm just going to check on Vic, who's going into the final chicane. Here comes Comacopa. Can he take the position and take this back from Facial? He has been so patient on the run through. Comacopa on the outside, Facial on the inside. Comacopa, can he tuck it in? Hold on, it's going to be a difficult run on out. He's got the tail ahead with the Ferrari, and he can't quite tuck the inside line. Vic crosses the line to win. Facial holds the inside line and holds firm, and they're across the line together, but Facial taking it by 17 thousandths of a second in the end. Absolutely insane from these two. Brilliant, brilliant racing. You have to say, look how tight it was as they just left enough room for each other right up until the final point through the final corner, and they make contact. Comacopa might be feeling a little bit aggrieved at that one, because I think the contact and the push onto the grass was probably enough to lose him that place right at the end. They could have been nose to nose on the way across the line. Vic taking the win though in the end, as expected. After a while, Vic leaving the session immediately. He came, he saw, he conquered, he disappeared. I'm not quite sure what the right Latin ending for that should be, but Vic clearing away another fantastic victory. Facial in 2nd and Comacopa in 3rd by just the tiniest margin, 17 thousandths of a second. The difference between two wheels on the grass potentially for Comacopa at the end there. Zen in 4th, TX, John Kai 5th and 6th, Chaotica and Bongit 7th and 8th place, Izzy in 9th, Glovas in 10th, and Preston in 11th. A poor day for Team Mountain Dew, you have to say. It's not going to help them secure 6th place in the championship, but a fastest lap point probably will. Saito, big thanks to him for driving the safety car. Vic, Facial, Comacopa, your all-star podium in the end. Thank you to everybody. A great finish. A great audience as always here on the channel. I will get the next stream ready as quickly as possible. Glovas is celebrating louder than the winner of the race there, Vic, who just disappeared on us. But all the same, thanks to everybody for watching. Thank you to Deviant for a fantastic racing season, and we will catch you on the next race day.